Welcome, everybody. Doing business with a servant's heart. And boy, do I have a great guest today. Known him for a while. He's got an incredible story, follows that servant heart. Hey, Alex, welcome to the call and show.
Thank you so much. Happy to be
You're,
here.
you're very, very welcome. Let's talk about your background. You're in Hawaii. Let's talk about when I first met you in your Hawaii and what got you where you are today.
Well, I was originally a hotel manager. I managed hotels in Japan and in the United States, and I love doing that. I thought I'd do that for the rest of my life, actually. And then I got laid off because of COVID, and I had to think, what the heck am I going to do next? At the time that I got laid off, I was actually in Hawaii, and I didn't qualify for unemployment, and just really was hurting for money. So I decided to become a real estate agent, really for no reason except that was what was available. And I thought, okay, let me try to do this. Knew some things about social media because I had done it at the big hotels that I worked for. So I started posting and, doing stuff for myself, which I had never done before. I was the guy who didn't really like social media. I'd like post maybe once every, year, literally. And it wouldn't even be me. It'd be like of a sunset. And, yeah, I ended up doing $3 million of sales here in Hawaii in my first year as a real estate agent and said, wow, and incredible stories. Too long to go over here today, but had a lot of success. And I said, wow, I'm pretty good at social media. I know a couple of things. So I started helping a few people and a few more, and then started charging. And after a year, it's become my full-time thing. I no longer do real estate. I'm a full-time social media coach and content creator. So that's how I got
Yes, and I
here.
love what you call your short video guru. I love
Yeah.
that. Unique and different. I do want, because I know you and we've talked a few times, I can't say many, but when I first met you, you told me that story, how you sold your first home. That's a servant story. Briefly, can you tell that story?
Sure. So I became a real estate agent brand new, created my social media profiles. And like I said, I knew some things about social media. So I had a strategy. And I just started getting out there. And all of a sudden, one day, this person messages me online and they say, Alex, we should talk sometime. And I responded, really about what? And they're like, real estate. I'm like, oh, duh, I'm a real estate agent, right? So I'm like, okay, sure, let's talk. So we're talking, going back and forth, and they say, okay, we're flying in January of 2021. Can you meet us? And I said, of course, yeah. So I went to the airport, picked them up from the airport. We're going to drive and look at our first house. And they say, tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex. Oh, I'm Alex. Was a hotel manager, lived in Japan, lived in here, there. And the husband stops and he scratches his head and he goes, when were you in the Navy? And I'm like, I've never been in the Navy. And the husband's like, really? Because Scott so and so said you guys were Navy brothers. Don't you know who Scott so and so is? And I'm like, nope, I actually don't. And they realize in that moment that I'm not the right real estate agent. I'm somebody completely different. It's a case of mistaken identity, literally. And the craziest part about this whole story is the husband is a former FBI agent, and both of them are moving there to work for the intelligence agencies. And so I'm literally in a car, like with an FBI, it's just like the craziest thing ever. And I end up selling these folks a house for $1.42 million. And I made more money in that single transaction than I did the entire previous year, and changed my life just like that in one moment, one connection, and the most it's not even like, oh, unlikely things would happen. That's an absurd thing to happen, that you trick an FBI agent into being his real estate agent. So it's more, yeah, it's kind of an absurd thing. But if I didn't live it, it would be totally unbelievable, but it's true.
Well, when you told me that story way back a year or so ago when we talked, I was blown away. But what I thought was, here's a guy, Alex, that mistaken identity. You were going to follow the path wherever way they took, but you took care of them. You served them like you were that Alex. Didn't steal them. You didn't take them. It was, and they were willing to work with you because you took care of them. But the other thing is the
Yeah.
power of social media. If you didn't get out to social media,
Well,
correct?
yeah, both correct on both terms. At the end, these are really the most gracious, nicest people. At the very end, once I hand them the keys to their house, they go, okay, Alex, we've been waiting this whole time. How many houses have you sold before? And I'm like, you can't lie to the FBI. So I'm like, actually, this is my first one ever. And the wife starts crying. The husband shakes my hand. He goes, "You did such an amazing job. We knew it was your first one. We couldn't be happier." And they're like my, Hawaii parents here. So everything turned out great. They got the perfect house. Like everything was, um, what was the second thing you said? You said, so the power of social media.
Social media,
So yeah. Yeah. So, people do business with people that they know. And they knew a realtor in Hawaii named Alex, and they saw me and they reached out to me thinking it was the other guy, and the other guy never reached out. So yeah, people do business
yeah.
with who they know.
I don't like to add too much, but they didn't know you very well. But how with the servant heart, that's the name of this publisher's why I wanted you on, was you could have gone another way. Well, I'm not Alex, but I could do better than him, or that kind of attitude. But you just flowed with it. And if they work with you, great. If they didn't work with you, you wouldn't have worked with them, right? You would have passed them back on and done the right thing, right?
I had no idea until they were in the car at that
Yeah.
moment. And then at that point, it's too late for them and it's too late for me. So they're just like, well, just roll with it. Seems like a nice enough guy.
Well, I
Yeah.
love this guy, because if they would have gone that way, say, you know what, you're not the right guy, appreciate the time, figure that out, you would have gone that way. That's the power of serving. And again, part of the reason I wanted you on. But the other power is short vertical video. I had to read that because not many people call themselves that. You do. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. Short form vertical video is the most powerful type of marketing that we have in 2022. It has taken over the internet. If you look at TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, this is really the most popular form of, entertainment, I think, right now. You look at the metrics. 80% of all traffic on the internet is video, and 70% of that video is watched on a mobile device. And most people are not turning their phone to watch the video. They're watching it vertically. And most businesses are not creating short form vertical video content. So it's actually the probably least competitive form of marketing as well. So that's what I'm really passionate about, is getting out there, creating short form video for businesses. For myself, that's how I've really grown my social media followings. I'm up to over 36,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm growing really, really fast on YouTube through YouTube Shorts. So
how many followers you have on YouTube? I love to recognize.
Right now, I have 310, and I started January 6th, and it's about January 27th. So I think my goal is to get over 1,000 by February 16th, February 16th, which I think I'll do.
And reason I say that, and you might go 310, but it's not easy to get subscribers with YouTube. I'm doing that, and I know that's why I wanted you to say that. That's all the metrics they use. So let's talk about, you've got a new client. Steve Ramone is your new client. Let's walk through the kind of little bit of 5-minute journey, what you do with me with my shorts. Not my shorts and my pants, but my video shorts, right. I should say that.
Yeah, somebody said, I want to get into your shorts, like, oh, whoa, hey, slow down, right?
That's funny.
But okay, so the two ways that we can help, right? I can coach you on how to do it yourself. That's kind of the more cost-effective method, is for me just to coach you. And I have a group coaching program where people can come, and I actually have a meeting every single day, 365 days a year, that you can come and ask a question at, for 1 hour. So I make myself available, because I think if you're going to be making content every day, you might have a question every day. So people have the opportunity to come and ask me a question whenever they have it. The second thing I can do is we can co-create the videos together. We can co-produce the videos together. So we now have these amazing online tools that allow us to record in high quality, high definition with great audio, and, even vertically. And then I can take that video and I can edit it and splice it and add captions and add graphics and post it for you. So if you're looking to save maybe some time, I can really automate 90% of the process. You just got to show up and read a script, or be on a podcast like this. And then I chop it up and I can schedule it out on YouTube, or, wherever you'd like it. So that's really what I'm doing on my YouTube channel, is I do podcast, and then I chop it into short form video and I post it to all the short form video platforms. And there's kind of this loop where the short form directs them to the long form, and then the long form introduces them, to the short form. So, and that's really helped, yeah. So that's
growth.
the two ways that we could work together.
Yeah. So it sounds like a cycle that the short works with the long and long works with the short. So you get promotion or exposure on both sides of it, right?
Right. Well, there's really no such thing as a viral long form video unless you're one of the big podcasters.
Yeah.
But you use the short form video as a movie trailer preview, and those can go viral. I have shorts that have thousands of views. None of my podcasts have 1,000 views, but maybe they heard something or they're intrigued, and then they go to the podcast to hear more, right? And then they hear, oh, I'm a big TikTok creator. So then maybe they go over to my TikTok and they watch some of my TikTok videos because TikTok's only short form video.
Right. You said two words earlier, helping, which I love. It's a great word. Serving is helping. But the same thing as podcasts. Is there any podcast out there? Reach out to him. His information will be in the show notes. He can help you grow your podcast and monetize that. In regards to somebody doing, they're scared of video. I'm sure you've had clients like that. How do you work with because I talk to people too, like, I'm afraid to do videos and all that. What do you say to somebody like that?
Well, I was the same way.
Okay.
I didn't want to be on video. And I just got to the point in my life and in my business where I said, this is a must. I have to do it. And what the heck do I have to lose? Being on social media in 2023 is just in my opinion, for your business, it's just like totally a necessity. You have to do it. And hiring somebody else to do it for you or to be the face of your business, for a lot of people, that's not really possible when you first start off. So you just got to do it yourself. You just got to get out there. I thought, what do I have to lose? And I gained an entire business and a new life. And, really amazing things have come from it. And I'll also say, just to the last point, if you have a podcast, and I know a lot of people like this, they have a podcast, they have hundreds of episodes and they have tons of guests and they wonder, where are the views? You have a YouTube channel and hundreds of videos and it has 10 views, 20 views, maybe 50 if you're lucky. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can get 10 times, 100 times more views by utilizing short form video, and you don't have to create any more content. You have a catalog of content. You just need to hire an editor or learn the editing skills yourself to put that into short form video. So that always kind of breaks my heart when I see somebody who has spent so much time in their podcast and then it doesn't go anywhere. And if they just did one extra step with the content they already have, they could actually be successful.
And I've talked to a lot of because I have a podcast, so I'm bringing people to me. You're absolutely right, Alex, because people have like 150 podcasts and they've made no money on it and they don't know how. That's why you need to reach out to Alex. And even if your business, because I see these teaser shorts as a teaser and you call it a trailer. That's a great definition because we have all kinds of movie trailers. It's kind of what you're talking about. Let's delve into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually something I learned from a mentor of mine, Mike Hayes. Mike Hayes, great guy. And he was talking about that. He's really great about communicating, like, what is it? I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have online, or especially with short form video, is just common ground understanding, meeting people where they are. To talk about the movie trailer. Yeah. I don't know if I have much to say about that, but yeah, the short form video, I've had short form videos that have gotten 1 million views. Right. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And there's really no long form videos of mine that have performed that well, because really what all these videos come down to, long, short, it's about retention time. It's much easier to retain somebody's attention for 30 seconds than it is for 30 minutes. We live kind of in this, so yeah, I guess that would say it's, long form video. The reason I say, hey, do short form video, it's easiest, to do. It's the most accessible. You're going to have the most success with it if you're new. If you try to jump into the deep end of high production, long form video right away, it's just going to be a lot harder and you're not going to have as much success and you're going to feel like stopping a lot sooner. You can get into short form video, learn some basic skills, in a couple of days, weeks, you can start having your own viral videos. We've had people in our group who in the first 2 weeks are getting, thousands of views or hundreds of views. And now we have people in the group getting, 2 million views on a single video. I should have interviewed with Breck Rice, who not a social media person, older guy, self-described older guy, not techie, didn't really want to do it, but just learning some simple skills, spending maybe 20 minutes a day doing this, has generated 2.5 million views on a single video, over 70,000 followers. yeah, and he's, and yeah, I'll leave it there. But he's done LinkedIn for a long time too, and he's
Yeah.
like, "What happened? I got more success on TikTok in 2 months than I had in 11 years on LinkedIn." I'm like, yeah, that's the reach. Not to say that LinkedIn can't be successful, but when you're talking about massive reach and massive exposure, there's one thing for that, and it's short form vertical video.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you a great testimonial, and you read my mind. Is what I love about you is this exactly what I wanted to hear, because results are the bottom line for anybody, right? I mean, they're going to join you if they get no views, probably not doing it right, but they're not going to stay with you. And your goal is actually for people to get this exposure, get this millions and thousands of views, and with the help. Regards to when you work with a group, so you do this call every day. Do you do you do one-on-ones as well? I want to make sure people understand what different ways you can help them.
Yeah, yeah, can definitely do one-on-one. I, everybody, if you work with me, everybody will have access to me every single day. Cause like I said, if you make content every day, you're going to post that video and you say, wait, I have a question on this thing, or I can't do that. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to wait a week, a month, a year. I'm there every day. That's my commitment to the people who choose to work with me. Want to finish off on the Breck thing, because the big question that I didn't say, did he get sales and did he get leads? That's what everybody wants, because these say, oh, 2 million views, so what? He has more business than he can really handle right now, so I'll just leave it there. Like, he's like, I
Nice.
can't even follow up. Over 1,000 people wanted to join his Facebook group, so he can't even follow up. He doesn't have the system yet. So, and yeah, so people, myself personally, get a lot of sales through TikTok. um Question was, do I do
Well, you,
one-on-one coaching? Yeah, I
yeah,
do one-on-one coaching. I try to push people because I kind of know, after coaching people for a year, what they need. I think the one-off coaching
yeah.
where you pay me $5,000 and we meet once every week for 6 months, I don't think that's going to be as effective as somebody kind of saying, okay, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to take this serious. I'm going to learn this in 2 months, 3 months, and I'm going to go maybe more often. Because like I said, you are producing that content every day. So
Yeah.
if we meet a week and then there's a week where we're not talking and you're not really doing it and you're not being consistent, it's not going to be as effective as saying, okay, I'm going to go 3 times a week whenever I have time in my schedule, and I'm going to, be more accountable, I think, that way. Yeah.
I love that business model. Again, you're back serving. Yeah, you could take that 5,000, but it's not as effective as if it's, of course, they don't have to say the price. You guys reach out for the price. I know it's very inexpensive. You'd rather do that with a big group of people on this 1 hour a day. You get more benefit from it. And I appreciate you saying that, because that's important to me. You're not, I don't want to use the word gouge, but you're not having this high price tickets. You don't have to have that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's good. Again, I love having you on. You're so passionate about what you do and so direct. That's what I want in a coach, and especially with a short form video coach or a social media coach. Direct, here's what to do, give me the steps, and away you go. I love that you do that. With that being said, you're very successful. We're hearing your success. Is there any books you want to share with the audience that's helped you grow to this point?
Um, yeah, I think, man, books. Nathaniel Brandon's, I think it's The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Really fantastic book. It's kind of like How to Win Friends and Influence People, but for
Yeah.
yourself, and it's things you listen to How to Win Friends and Influence People, and you're like, oh, I know all of this stuff. It's so common sense, right? But sometimes those common sense things, ain't so common. And it's good to hear it and to, listen to that type of material. So that was a really important book.
Mm-hmm.
And then hospitality book. There's a book. It's called, like, I'll have to get, I forgot the name, but it was by the guy who made Ritz Carlton. He like reinvigorated Ritz Carlton, and his ideas around hospitality and serving people. So to maybe put a bow on this, doing business with a servant's heart, I was a hospitality worker and I loved that job. And it was all I had to do. I was like I was the guest experience manager, which is like it's like a fancy title for a concierge. Um, and that's what I did, and that's what I really love to do, is serve and be attentive and really help people. Um, so Yeah.
Well, and that's a great background because hospitality is that's serving. And what we call
Mhm.
waitresses and waiters, servers. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what it's all about. You're the beck and call, but that's what somebody does when you want to help somebody. One question I always like to ask, and I want to ask you, why are you doing this? Why are you a short form vertical video guru? Why?
Um, I guess I'd say it's easy, but I guess it comes easy to me. It comes easy to me, and growing on social media to me is pretty simple. But for a lot of people, there's a lot of mystery around
Yeah.
it. And so I like to, I did it for myself to grow my real estate business. And I continue to do it to show people, hey, I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. I'll do it. I'll prove these strategies work and I'll lead by example. I'll do it every day. I'll help you every day. I'll grow at the same, I'm just as busy as everybody else. So why do I do it? Um, yeah, it's so corn, but it's like, it doesn't necessarily feel like work. I'm not working in a coal mine. I'm not, I'm acting
Yeah.
kind of a fool on the internet, and then I'm helping people for an hour a day. It's pretty nice. It's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
and the great why and purpose is helping people. And you've said helping probably a number of times in this show, which is why I love having you on. We're coming to the end of the time. Again, we could talk for hours about this. There's so much, but I think people get the idea what you're doing. Reach out to him, please. Mention my name if you have to. He may put you the head of the line. I can't guarantee that, but please reach out to him. His information will be in the show notes. He'd love to do a discovery call with you or invite you maybe to one of his classes, whatever he does. I know he'll talk to you first and see if it's a fit. It should be a fit. God, I was so excited to have you. I'm so excited that I've learned more about you, and you definitely have a servant's heart, and I appreciate you for doing that. God bless you. Let's leave the audience with one tip, business or personal, that really you've gone through a lot in your life, made many changes, as we've heard, and I know about you. What's one thing that you can leave with the audience?
I think it's never, ever, ever give up. And you're one connection away. You're one little thing away in your life from every single thing being different. I went from 27 years old, gonna make six figures at my Hawaii, hotel job, to laid off, $25,000 in debt, thinking, what am I gonna do? To selling $1 million homes, to going viral on TikTok, to, really just, and none of these things I would have expected. None of these things were planned, but I just had this mentality of like, I will do whatever it takes and things will happen. And, you know, uh, you know, God will provide, really. I mean, at the end of the day. And so what kept me through all that was just kind of having faith too. Like, I felt I was here for a reason. I know I'm here for a reason, and just never giving up. Even, because entrepreneurship, Steve, there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. And I have days where I'm like, why am I doing this? And I just said, I've come this far and I've done this much and I've seen so many amazing things in my own life that I'm just, I have that faith that, yeah, that things are going to work out. So